Ania KŁSKA, ANIAMALUJE, zawitała do nas do studia. Dzień dobry, hello.
Cześć.
Cześć. Prosto od dentysty, ja prosto od okulisty. Chciałem to powiedzieć na starcie, że nikt w drodze do studia mnie dzisiaj nie pobił. Wszystko jest ok, nie jestem smutny też, jestem bardzo szczęśliwy, że u mnie zawitałaś. Dowiedziałem się dzisiaj, że mam alergię, więc całe życie się czegoś dowiadujemy. No ale podjąłem decyzję dzisiaj. Budząc się rano podjąłem decyzję, że nie chcę przykładać tej rozmowy, że chcę się tutaj pojawić, chcę wykonać swoją pracę, chcę z tobą porozmawiać. I decyzję podejmujemy codziennie tak naprawdę, czy świadomie, czy nie. Słowo wybory dzisiaj w ogóle trochę wybrzmiewa też inaczej, no bo mieliśmy ostatnio wybory prezydenckie. No ale tak jak powiedziałem, podejmujemy je codziennie. I będziemy dzisiaj o tym rozmawiać. O wyborach, o decyzjach, o granicach i o zamartwianiu się. Ale zanim przejdziemy do tego, chciałam się dowiedzieć, jak się dzisiaj czujesz, bo będziemy dzisiaj robić coś bardzo fajnego, bardzo ważnego. Będziemy przełamywać bariery językowe.
Z jednej strony jestem trochę podekscytowana, bo robię coś zupełnie innego i myślę, że to może być, szczególnie dla moich odbiorców, bo mam nadzieję, że wysłuchają tego podcastu, ciekawe i otwierające, bo mój angielski z roku na rok robi się coraz gorszy, bo nie mam po prostu okazji mówić na jakimś zaawansowanym poziomie, więc go tracę. A z drugiej strony, no właśnie czuję taki lekki strach, no bo to jest coś nowego, innego. Każda nowa rzecz wypycha nas z jakiejś strefy komfortu.
Dokładnie.
A w sumie tylko tak się rozwijamy, więc lubię robić niekomfortowe rzeczy i się przełamywać.
Również się cieszę i lecimy z grubej rury. Zadam pytanie za 100 punktów. Po angielsku powiemy the $1 million question. Ja lubię tak do sedna przejść. Nie lubię tak wchodzić, tylko lubię przejść do sedna. Is there such thing as a good and bad decision?
I think we are all bad in someone's story. Like every choice is bad from someone's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, there is no such a thing as perfect choice. There is choice that is the best you can make at these conditions, at this time.
Like adequate, right?
Yeah,
Odpowiedni tak, for the conditions.
I don't believe there are like perfect choices in general.
Mm-hmm.
It all depends on perspective.
Because sometimes bad decision can lead us to growth.
Yeah.
Like at the beginning, we see it as bad, but it might turn out it's good.
Yeah, it's a bias. Like we judge our decisions by outcome, but we don't know the outcome.
We never know the outcome.
Yeah, the moment we are making decisions. So sometimes bad choices leads us to growth or something better in life. Sometimes good choices brings us nothing good, because sometimes being like good and doing something morality, I don't know how to say it, like the better choice that from moral perspective leads us to, I don't know, worse financial conditions or something like that. But it all depends from perspective, how we judge the decision.
But making decisions is hard, isn't it? Like, we have this paradox of choice, as you said.
Yes, it's hard because we live now in times when the choice is unlimited in some perspective. So we always have this feeling or we worry about, is this good enough? Is something better around the corner maybe? So it's not that easy. I recommend always, after making a choice, don't overthink it. Don't, think about other choices, other possibilities. You made a choice, stick to this decision and
right.
And live with consequences of it. But it's hard. It's always hard. Like for me, it's very hard.
And back then, 30 years ago, right, you had 30 options. Now you have 30,000 options to choose from.
And you are being judged for all your choices. Like especially now, if you run social media, as I am, it's you'll be judged for everything you do. Like years ago, if you post, your breakfast, everyone will say you enjoy. Today, why this is full of sugar? Why you eat that? Why this? Why that? Why you eat meat? Why you eat blah blah. Always is bad.
Yeah,
from
we'll be
someone's
getting into
perspective.
that later on. But then this paradox of choice. Just because we have so many options, it doesn't mean that your happiness level will increase, right? People might think, no, now I have so many options, I'm going to be so happy. it's not always, it's actually quite the opposite very times. Do you agree on that?
Yes, I think it was much easier when the choice was more limited than it is now. Now it's very hard to make like simple choices. The choices were simple years ago, now are extremely hard because you have like 30 kinds of yogurts in a shelf in the supermarket. So,
sugar-free, lactose-free, right?
Yeah, high protein, from eco brand, I don't know what else, Polish brand. And you don't know what to choose, what is better for, I don't know, environment, what is better for your health, what is better for your wallet. So many perspectives.
But some people don't struggle with it. They just choose without thinking. They listen to their gut, słuchają swojego takiego przeczucia, and they just go for it. I don't belong to this group. I don't think you do too. Maybe I'm mistaken. I want to know, which group do you belong? Do you overanalyze or do you just listen to your gut?
I'm both groups. It depends.
Okay.
Like, I'm overthinking really small decisions. Like, I will do 3 days of worth of researching the perfect printer. But I chose my apartment like the moment I walked in.
Just like
this. This is the apartment. I want this. And I didn't overthink it. And I'm happy about this choice because like after making this choice, I deleted our apps for searching apartments like Autodome and OLX. Like I deleted everything and was not looking for better choices and not like, I don't like to feel guilty that, oh, maybe if I waited, there would be something better. I'm happy with the choice I made. It was the best choice I could make at this time, at this moment. It's like, it doesn't need to be perfect.
I like that.
Partnerem podcastu jest Tutlo, szkoła angielskiego online, która tak jak ja pomaga przełamywać bariery w mówieniu.
With every decision comes reaction, but not only our reaction, but people's reaction. People react to your decisions, right? Your quote. Doszliśmy jako ludzkość do bardzo dziwnego momentu, gdzie mnóstwo jest osądzania. Twoje słowa z podcastu Chodźmy Pogadać. Why do you think there is so much judgment in today's society about any decision we make? Why is this judgment present?
I think it always was, but now people have like, it's easier to express it. And internet gives us illusion we know more people than ever. Like,
everybody's your friend.
Yes, and earlier in times it was like you are judging your neighbor, your school friends. Now you can judge everyone, and people are so insecure about their own choices, so they need to judge other choices because they feel other people's choices attacks them personally. It's not like that. I make choices for myself, and if I'm not. But for example, if I'm eating vegan, my choices are not. I'm not doing it to judge
others.
People who are eating meat or something like that. It's my choice, and people are doing choices for themselves, not against, like, I believe it, not against others. So I think sometimes this judgment comes from insecurity. It's like my opinion.
Very much, right? About your own perception.
I'm happy with my choices, and I don't judge other people's choices because everyone walks their path.
I like that. What are some decisions you've made that people judged you for? Because if you do stuff online, you're going to say everything.
Yeah, but it's true. It's true. Like everything. If I'm like, and people don't care about facts. For example, I like a bath tube. It's like one of my favorite way to relax. Book, pot of tea, and hot water in a bathtub. And people like, how can you waste that much water? Like the climate is crying, the planet is burning, blah, blah, blah. And okay, they can think like that. But when I post my water bills that are lower than the estimation and lower than average, they don't know what to say. They are still judging me. It's probably not possible, blah, 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 you're faking it or something like that. But people don't care about facts. They have strong opinions and they want to confirm these opinions. So you will be judged for everything. Like why you are making podcast in studio. You're too lazy to do it by yourself in your apartment. Why you are like hiring someone. And if you're hiring someone to do that, or why you're paying other people for that, blah, blah, blah. But if you will do it by yourself, it will be, oh, you earn money. Why didn't you share with other people? You can like pay others. Why you didn't do that? So everyone will be mad at you if they want. I think, I'm not judging. I'm not judgmental person. Sometimes I am, but yes, sometimes I am. But I'm not judging people for their everyday choices.
I want to know more of those decisions that you've been judged. Because if you're posting stuff online, if you're an online creator, automatically people will judge you. What is something that maybe touched you, that you didn't appreciate, that you didn't like?
There were some. For example, I was doing with my friends charity program Neutering Dogs in Georgia. And I raised money from my ebooks. And some girls online were assuming I had a trip to Georgia from this money. It was not true. I paid out from my own pocket to come there. And I was so pissed off. How can someone have these values in their hearts to think like this is the idea that will never be in my mind, to think someone is doing this for like, I don't know even what is the thing I gain from it in their minds. So I was so mad because they don't care about facts. They have this judgmental tone. But other things, I think they're not touching me.
Because you're also putting that wall. You're not allowing that maybe to affect you.
I'm so many years in internet that I heard everything. I heard everything, and maybe 3% of it was true. So I don't care. But people also are judging for travels, for example. Why did you travel to this country? This country is doing this, blah, blah, blah.
CO2 emissions, I assume.
For example, but like the new research found out that the Israel war gave more CO2 emission than 100 countries combined. So who people are judging?
Cokolwiek zrobię, zawsze zrobię źle. That's
true.
the quote that I found, and it really sticks with me, right? Because if you're posting stuff online, you always make a decision on what you're going to post.
Yeah.
Right. So people will always find this bit that they didn't.
Yeah, and
like.
I think it's a trap for a lot of internet creators. They try to. They try to be
noticed.
No, neutral like Switzerland, like. To not lose followers, to be liked by everyone, but it's impossible.
It is.
You need to be yourself and have your own, I don't know how to say it, own thoughts or own beliefs, and you will be always judged by someone, and you need to make peace in mind with this fact,
right.
Because with this fear of being judged, you cannot succeed.
Recently, I made a decision like this. I wanted to be neutral, and I brought in politics because of the elections, and I supported one camp, and I lost like 400 followers, I think, that day, which at the end of the day, now that I think, it's fine because I like it the way it is, but I made a conscious decision, and hence the consequences. So we should also be aware of those consequences. But if you're okay with it, then voila.
I lose followers every elections in Poland. And I'm okay with that because I'm not judging anyone for their choices.
Yes. And speaking of elections, I don't want to talk about politics because it's not the program is not about it, but I want to give you an example, right? The elections showed us that we're a divided country, but when I woke up the next morning, I saw so much hatred. I saw so much like judging, and it was so quick. The question I have for you is, why are we so quick with our judgments?
To feel better about ourselves. Like, it's easy to blame someone. like we didn't do the work to convince either our like father or mother. So it's easy to blame someone for what happened. Like we don't like when people are choosing something we are not into. So blaming is easy. Like it's super easy solution is like avoiding consequences of own choices. Mm-hmm. It's super easy. It boosts your ego. It gives you relief. Yeah.
You just feel better about yourself.
Yeah. Because it's not your fault. It's these bad people.
Mm-hmm. So you blame others.
Yeah.
Related to that is this aspect of people pleasing.
Okay.
I think, right? That sometimes we make a decision even though it's against our values, against our beliefs, but we want to be likable. We want people to like us. And I've been that person. I'm not anymore, but I know what it feels like and I know where it comes from. What's your take on that? Do you think we're constantly trying to fit in with others, or you don't see it that way?
I think it's true. Like we all probably like to be likable, but I have autism, so with me it's not this case because people will always don't like me for me being autistic, for example. And
Why do you say so?
Because it's true. Like if you look at statistics, autistic people are less likable than other people.
Really?
Yeah.
Are there any reasons behind it? I mean,
we are straightforward. We are sometimes it seems like we don't care about other feelings, but it's not true. We are just harsh with what we are saying. It's very hard to feel this like moment or border when you can say something or not. People ask you for your honest opinion. You share your honest opinion, and then you realize they don't want
like your honest opinion.
Hear the honest opinion. Like there's a lot of this sugarcoating in our society. Like, for example, if your friend asks you how he looks after a visit to a bar, like he went to a barber, yeah? And he asks you, how do I look?
My hair?
Yeah.
And you say it's shit.
It like, even if you say, I like you better the previous hairstyle, he will not like it because he is not asking for your opinion.
Because we want to hear what we want to hear what
and I'm like a person who is very solution focused. And it's also hard because some people, and I'm still learning that,
of course,
want to be comforted, not confronted with solutions. Mm-hmm. So it's not easy because I want to be a good friend and I'm not. And that's why I'm surrounded mostly by not neurotypical people. Mm-hmm. Because it's easier for me and I think it's also easier for others. So I made peace in my mind years ago that I am not a likable person. So I'm not trying to fit everywhere. Mm-hmm. And it's much easier after like making this peace.
What you said, I think it has a name. Isn't it confirmation bias? That you like... You want to hear what you know for a fact, right?
Yeah.
You don't accept others' views. I mean, maybe you do, but it makes you feel shit, so you don't want to accept it. I think what you brought up is really important, and we should all learn a lesson from it. The world will be a better place, perhaps.
Yeah, people are looking for confirmation.
Related to decisions, making decisions, we can say no, right? Because I feel like there's this perception that many times we have to agree on things, even though if we don't feel like this is the right choice. But we don't really say no many times, even though we should be saying no to some things. Why is it for us so hard to say no?
Oh, because we will face consequences of saying no. Like maybe someone will not, will like us less than before. And for me, it's a question, okay, this person was liking you, or he for example, liked to use you. This is like a difference in me. Like in my mind, after asking this question, I rethink a lot of my choices. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes I was trying to keep relation with someone the price was pieces, like my piece, my time. And then I realized, okay, but these people don't like me anymore. They just want to use my time or my resources. So what's the
For
point?
their benefit, right?
So why I'm doing this?
And did you come up with answers? Why were you doing it?
Because I didn't want to disappoint someone. And I ended up disappointing myself.
People pleasing.
Yeah. And so I'm not doing it
I am
anymore.
the one also people pleaser. So like I'm very familiar with this concept, right? Try not to be.
Like now, I think it's not a big issue in my life. But it costs me a lot of like fake friends.
Posortowane.
Yes.
What you said is it's really interesting that because you said yourself, you're a strong-minded person, right? You're honest. You tell what you think. And I always appreciate that about people, right? For me, it's better to be strong-minded than be, po polsku powiemy taki nijaki, plain. You know, that person doesn't have any beliefs, any values. I don't like that. I prefer strong-minded and honest person. And I tell you what, recently I came across a video on TikTok. There was one professor from the US, from one of the universities in the US, and he said, statistically speaking, 20% of people will never like you, no matter what you do. You may please them, you may do them favors. They will simply not like you. And I think this is very freeing. It's like you feel, okay, because there is not much I can do about it, right? So I want this for people to know that this is a nice piece of information to keep in mind, right? 20%.
Relieving.
20%, it's really a lot. Gdy zabiera się głos w jakiejś sprawie, to źle. Jak nie zabierasz głosu, to też źle. Jak możesz milczeć. Another one. You even mentioned yourself. Użyłaś takiego stwierdzenia, straszna influencerka. How do you navigate situations where any choice feels wrong? Because I don't think it's easy at all.
It's hard. I think there are a lot of this kind of situation in our lives, and it's super hard. But I believe people clicked follow on my Instagram
for a reason.
To know my beliefs, what I believe, what I do, what I think. So I'm doing myself. I'm doing what I believe.
And it's the right
and it's their choice if they want to listen or not. So yeah, I will be always like judged for it, but okay, you can follow a lot of other people who are confirming what you think. You can find confrontation in my profile, and it's your choice if you want to confront or not.
It's your decision.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and I like what you're doing. You should. Keep on doing it.
And I'm not taking responsibility for others' decisions.
They should be taking this responsibility, right? It's them. Ostatni cytat. Sporo ich, ale ostatni. Bo ten wybrzmi tutaj chyba najbardziej. Jeśli coś kosztuje cię zdrowie psychiczne, to jest za drogie. Right? All of those quotes are yours. What do you mean by that exactly? And where do you draw the line between what's healthy and not healthy? It's a very open question, I know. But I want to know what is the meaning of that quote that you used not once, but a couple of times, right? Jeśli coś kosztuje cię zdrowie psychiczne, to jest za drogie.
If you literally suffer from being in situations you don't need to be, and like you have problems with your belly, problems with acne, problems with, I don't know, like I start with physical symptoms because like mental health and physical health are related too. Right. So you're literally paying the price that it's not worth being in some situations. And I think there are some situations we need to be in even if we don't like them. Even if
it's uncomfortable?
Yeah. Like I'm here, it's hard, it's not comfortable, but I think I need it to my growth. But it doesn't cost me peace of my mind. And I'm not like suffer from it, yeah? It's just unpleasant. But
Am I that unpleasant?
no, it's like my English is like terrible.
It's perfect. I don't know what you mean.
But sometimes, for example, friendship that it's not serving us anymore. Some relations are like burning out. Is the right way to say that? Okay. So sometimes we need to make this choice.
To cut it off.
Yeah. It's not nice, but keeping alive something that is dead already is killing us literally.
Piece by piece.
Yeah. So sometimes we need to make these hard choices, and there are things in our lives that are not worth the price we decide to pay.
I like the sound of that. In your podcast, you say sometimes boundaries are worth crossing. And it's what we're doing here, maybe crossing some boundary, right? Because usually we set boundary.
Yeah.
Right? This is something I don't like, I'm not going to do it. But sometimes you say that crossing boundaries is good for your growth, for example. And it can teach us something. What do we think about that? I know we already touched upon that, but we say about setting the boundaries, but maybe crossing the boundaries, sometimes it's also good.
I often think about boundaries drawn by society, like you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to don't do that, blah blah blah.
Get married by this age, have kids by this age, whatever.
Like the social acceptance, like people expect you to do some things to fulfill their image. I don't know why. So I'm autistic and I don't stick to like this social agreements. I was not making. Like I was not here when this agreement was like signed.
Yeah.
So why should I care? I know what's the price of it. Like I will be judged, okay, but I'm walking my path, and not everything that is expected from you, not everything that is legal is good. So I'm going my way.
There's always this aspect of worrying.
Yeah.
I want to touch upon the aspect of worrying now. You struggled with free-floating anxiety?
Yeah, I had this. Now I'm free of it.
Since this was a big part of your life, I assume, I want you to share your personal story related to it, because maybe I know I'm being anxious at times. I know people are, because we're overstimulated all the time. What was it like, and what did you worry about the most?
Oh, it's a nice question, because my situation was good. Like objectively, it was good. I had my own apartment, like some money in my bank account. I can travel. My health was quite okay. And I was worrying about my future. Oh, what will I do when like the internet will end? What will I do if like Instagram delete my profile? What will I do if like blah blah blah? And I was making these scenarios in my mind, and I had two solutions for that. One was going to psychiatrist for meds and like working on my mindset, because worrying was killing me literally. And other is make all these things you are worried about happen. So I delete my social media for 4 months.
Okay.
And I'm still standing. I moved my money to investments I cannot touch. So I need to live with smaller amount. And okay, I survived. It was not that hard as I thought. So when this worst case scenario happened, I was not that scared, and I will not be scared anymore, because I know I can survive everything. But it was literally killing me, because objectively my situation was good, and I was constantly making this never-ending scenarios of what to do, what will I do. It was taking my pleasure and my peace away from me.
Right. And we do worry. I did some check. I checked online that Poles are on top of the list. It's very common here. And we worry about everything.
Yeah.
I mean, whether you should wear a bra or not for women, right? Or people who identify as women. And you also, I think, in your podcast, you also mentioned that even the way you were worrying about that. Maybe we can delve into that. Why do people worry about such things? Why did you worry about it? Where did it come from?
Because it's too many information, too many research about everything. Like you feel guilty about every choice you made, so you are worrying where this choice will take you. This is my perspective on that. And
can you elaborate on that more?
So you enjoy eating like kind of food you like. And then this research, you cannot eat butter because margarine is better and you like butter, and you start to worrying, oh, I like it, but what will happen with my health? And you feel bad, and it's like going and going in your mind, and it's like this
circles.
Scenario is crazy at the end. And or I think we are free to make not good choices. And it's our choice to make bad choices, sometimes, and face consequences of it. So I'm doing it because sometimes my mental health is more important than objectively making a good choice. And there's a lot of research about how worrying is killing us. So I'm afraid I will mix it, but there was research about asking people to make imaginary, to pay imaginary fee for fixing a car or something like that. And then they were obligated to do math test or logical test. I don't remember well. And people who were worrying about paying this imaginary amount, like they don't need to have car in real life even. They were much worse in this test, like significantly worse results of this test than people who were not worried about imaginary car repair. So, and there were other researches about like farmers in India making having like they imagined they need to pay for something, and then their results were also worse than before this imaginary worrying about thing that will never happen. So after reading a lot of research about that, like worrying literally makes me make bad choices, worse choices, and leads me to worse life quality. So I rethink myself and okay, worrying is bad for me, so I need to start to stop it, because even the things I'm worrying about will never happen. My life will be worse because of my worries.
Right. Or you can choose one of the techniques that you talked about, which is like arranging 1 hour a week where you worry. Because I'm
worrying on Mondays.
From what time to what time?
Now from 5 to 5:30 or
and
something
it's just 1
like
hour,
that.
Half an hour.
Yeah.
Because maybe we can allow sometimes to also feel those emotions, but not over react, right? And overthink and overanalyze, because we have this tendency.
There are no benefits for me from worrying, so better to stop that.
Better to stop that. Social media doesn't help, does it, with worrying?
I think it makes it worse.
Because?
Because people are now worried about everything, like climate, money, comparing to others. Okay, even if you are performing well in your life, like comparing to your grandma, for example, your grandma will be, oh my God, I want to have this life. But you're comparing yourself with others. And in the past, you were comparing yourself to maybe your school friends or people from a small town. But now you are comparing with a 1 million follower influencer who is traveling the world and like have beautiful big house, and you are the same age and you are not.
And it's still a fraction of their life. Yeah. Because we never know the reality, really. Just what we see on our screen.
Yes. And sometimes we will not be able to pay the price they are paying, like with their mental health, with being judged, with people looking for every step they are making.
And we're not here to save the world. This is also that's something that pops up, that if you worry so much about things you don't have real influence on, right? Real impact. So maybe just worth living here and now. But living here and now, it's not so easy, is it? Easier said than done. Łatwiej powiedzieć, trudniej zrobić, chyba. Or not?
I think
What's
it's
your take
true.
on that? Is it true?
Yeah, it's true. But I don't have anything to add.
Right. I also looked into what Poles worry about the most. I'm going to read it because two things stood out. So the first one was money. So financial security, right? And another one was, I like that, it was health of their loved ones. So health of their mom, grandma, whatever. I would like to focus on the topic of money now. If you're comfortable sharing, could you tell us more about that? What kind of thoughts or situations made you anxious about money? Have you ever maybe experienced that?
I'm from poor family and we have financial struggles when I was growing up. So the worry about money was always in my head from childhood. And I think the best solution for that is to start building your savings. How to say poduszka finansowa in English?
No idea. I'll put it in the word box.
So you need to start building this.
It's not a pillow, is it? Well, maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know either, but it's fine.
You start to build it from
Scratch.
From scratch, step by step, because having that, it's like having parachute on your back. So it's easier to make choices, easier to quit job, easier to make turnaround with your life. If you have like some savings, it gives you the safety net. Also,
safety net is the word.
Okay, maybe.
You see? You used
it. And about worrying about our loved ones, I think buying insurance will like help to worry less about it.
But buying the correct one.
Yes, but let's not overthink that. Sometimes it's better to make choice that overthink and not make choice at all. So sometimes worse choice but made than
not making choice.
Yeah, and stick to imaginary choices you will never make literally is better. So I'm more like solution person. So I started by building this safety net and it helped me a lot.
And perhaps could you also share us consequences of excessive worrying?
Consequences of excessive worrying, like literally it leads me to depression. So it's a terrible consequence. And it's funny because you're worrying about money and then you end up paying a lot of money to your psychiatrist. Because
this money has to go somewhere.
It's not cheap. And I don't blame doctors for it. Like the system is fucked up. There are a lot of consequences, like it kills our intelligence, like not kills, but we are making worse choices. It's like being...
We're less creative.
Yeah, less creative. It's like being hangover all the time because we are like also less elastic with our choices. Someone who is worrying about money will be less likely to change job for a better job because, what if I lose it? What if people will not like me there? Blah, blah, blah. All this fake scenario in head. So we are sticking to shitty situations and then start to hang curtains in this shit.
And the circus continues.
Yeah. So worrying is like killing us step by step.
But
piece
we
by
allow
piece.
it.
Yeah, and the worst part of it is it's totally our choice to do that.
To allow for it or not allow for it. Right? To say stop. This is where I draw the line of not worrying. If you could give us advice, to someone who's stuck in this loop of overthinking, of worrying, because I'm sure there are people watching us who feel like this, are there any techniques they could use?
I think it's related to cognitive overload. So
Cognitive overload?
yeah, we have too much on our heads. Like it's impossible to make good decisions if your head is overloaded with tiny decisions you need to make, and everything is like falling like house of cards. So the first step is trying to release some cognitive space in your head.
How do we do that?
For example, one day if you are cooking, cook some more and freeze it. So you will have one little choice less to make other day. Because if you are constantly worrying about something, you're tired, overworked, blah, 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 it's easier for you to order shitty pizza or shitty hot dog from Żabka than to eat something that will be nutritious for you. So if you eat shitty food, it's also always not always. Maybe you will be tired next day. And you are tired next day, so you are making more shitty choices. And it's like going and going and going.
Continues.
So try to make just a little better step on good days. This is my advice. And also start building this safety net with money. Even if you're starting with a super small amount, just start.
I like that.
Partnerem podcastu jest Tutlo, szkoła angielskiego online, która tak jak ja pomaga przełamywać bariery w mówieniu.
Ania, będziemy powoli kończyć naszą rozmowę. Na koniec jak zwykle pytanie od sponsora, pytanie związane z podróżami z językiem. And the question is as follows. How does knowing languages help you connect with people and get around when you're abroad? Does it help at all? Or it doesn't help?
It helps a lot, but it's super funny because traveling is something that made my English worse. Because I travel to countries where people are not
English speakers.
Yeah, English speakers. So, for example, after a month in Sri Lanka, my English is terrible because I'm talking with super simplified English. And or Tanzania, for example. People are using special mix of English and Swahili. So, Ogudi, my friendy.
Okay, so English can get worse when you travel.
Yeah, for me. But it opens you... The world is open for you.
Right. Especially if you meet other, let's say, backpackers, right? From Europe.
Yeah, but like... I'm not focusing on meeting other backpackers and other travelers.
Okay.
Also, more about meeting locals. This is my way of travel.
The local culture, right?
Yeah. I like to rent something in a local neighborhood, go to local food places with no English menu. So, yeah. It's super simplified.
Maybe also feeling a bit uncomfortable, right? That you might not know what you're gonna do, but I mean, it's a decision, right? I mean, it kind of ties to what we said.
It is.
That it's fine, I'm traveling and like I can explore different parts of me and like just do something unconventional, do something uncomfortable.
But it's building my self-esteem because after that I'm feeling, okay, I can face every situation with like no language, no friends there, I can survive everything.
Na tym kończymy. Ja dziękuję Ci bardzo za rozmowę, piąteczkę.
Dzięki.